Whew. Hey, what's happening, folks? It's the pastor on a Tuesday night, an amazing Tuesday night. I must ask your forgiveness due to unforeseen circumstances, internet issues, and all kind of craziness that just happened within the last half hour or so. I'm running a few minutes late, but I did manage to get here. It didn't look like it for a while. I actually thought that I wasn't going to be able to do this tonight. But hopefully I'll be able to get through this. Hopefully we'll be able to get through this. If you please share this out and invite some more people in. It's a crucial topic tonight that I'm going to deal with. One that I'm going to open by saying that I'm sorry that I even have to deal with this subject at all. And it's the subject of people, for whatever reasons, have decided that their presence in a political race right now is a good idea, when it really ain't no good idea. How many of y'all know that those who use the term that this is the most crucial election of our lifetime, how many of y'all know that's really true? That this is a fact. The election season that we're in right now, there's no more urgent time for us to be united in our presentation, in our going to the polls, in order to defeat oppression that is upon us right now. The resurrection of Jim Crow, the revitalization of fascism and Nazism. All of these things are on the ballot this year. And my friends, we ain't got no time to be playing no games with people out here who just feel as if this is what they're God-given, what they're supposed to do. I don't know. Some people say what I'm talking about tonight has to do with money. People that have had money placed in their hands in order to interrupt the vote tallies, to split votes. And that could all be true. But y'all know the pastor well enough. Y'all please share this out. Y'all know me well enough to know I don't even have any music on right now. I should, but it's all good. But y'all know me well enough to know that I'm going to call out the mess. I'm not getting ready to sit here and just be silent about it as things are going, especially when those who have no business in these races are talking trash about the ones who are really the right people that are in place. The ones who have put in the work, the ones that are doing a good job, a great job. But still in all, here we have those in the community who feel that it's their privilege to get involved in this. Well, tonight I'm going to talk about one race in particular. And that one race is going to be the Charleston County School Board race for District 8. Okay, I know this is a nonpartisan race, and that's a good thing. It's a nonpartisan race. But the reality is, partisanship in nonpartisan races is a reality. It's just like you can't separate yourself from your ideology, what you actually believe. So even if you're in a nonpartisan race, you're still going to bring your ideology to the table with you. And we have two opposing ideologies dealing with the school system. We have the people, those who believe, as I do, that public education is the key to America. It's the fundamental principle that built our nation, and that school privatization and pandering to special interest groups, that's really an easy way to devastate our youth and to destroy their future. While there are others who believe that these special interests are the way to move forward. Interests that actually accommodate a portion, a segment of our community and not the whole community. Some of our kids, but not all of our kids. And in the school board race, although it's a nonpartisan race, many times we see partisan views, not only in the election campaign cycle, but once those seats have been filled. And we've seen a classic example of that in Charleston County, Berkeley County, Beaufort County, across the United States, as we've seen the rise of this extremist group by the Southern Poverty Law Center declared them a far-right extremist group, and that's Moms for Liberty. Okay. Again, I don't have any music on tonight. I wish that everybody would tag somebody and invite them on board. Carl, thank you for stepping on board. I appreciate you. Donna, thank you for getting on board. But it's going to be real interesting. You know, I might as well get right into this because I want to be through in time to get me a bite to eat before the 9 o'clock vice presidential debate starts. Okay, and I want to be done with this for the night. And Taisha, what's going on? All right. And, you know, there's a major problem in this CCSD District 8 board election, where the incumbent is Darlene Dunmire Robinson, and then she has two challengers. One is Moms for Liberty, Michelle Faust, and the other is the Reverend Charles Glover. And he's more or less the subject of my live tonight. Okay, so y'all know me. A lot of y'all know me well enough to know that I'm totally down with the democratic process. Okay, the fair and equitable democratic process as it is outlined. Okay, it works. Oh no, but this election right here, I just said it in the opening. It's just too crucial for us to be playing games and splitting votes and possibly letting another Moms for Liberty mouthpiece get control over our children's educational future. It's too crucial. And some of us are either so blind to our ambitions or maybe hungry in our thirst for power or desperate just to get the scraps from the masses table that we willingly roll out the red carpet for white supremacy to continue to have a knee on the neck of our community. And that's exactly what we've got going on in the District 8 race when we have the incumbent, Darlene Dunmire. And I'm going to talk about our qualifications right now in a minute. And then we have a Moms for Liberty person, Michelle Faust. And then we have this other, just special person, the Reverend Charles Glover. Now, I like them titles, okay? Don't be deceived by these titles, all right? Many times in these people, the same ones that are blind with ambition and power, or else looking for money off the table, scraps off the table of the massa, they got these titles, okay? And but they only use them to accomplish their own selfish agenda, okay? Titles like civil rights leader, or reverend, or pastor even, attorney, or representative, state representative, okay? Now, although I'm not going to be addressing that aspect of it tonight, I still think it's necessary to make that point right here. That's something I'm going to talk about in the future. But really, Houston, we got a problem in the District 8 race, because I mentioned it before about how some people don't care nothing about sacrificing the good of the community for their own personal agenda. And that's what we got going on in in District 8. It's sad. It's sad. Got two people who say they represent democratic values, okay? Public education, strengthening public education, paying our teachers, all of these things. Everything that Moms for Liberty is not about. Then you have one Moms for Liberty candidate who is just that, the Moms for Liberty candidate, okay? You have Darlene Dunmire. She's the incumbent, okay? She's the incumbent. Then you have the Moms for Liberty candidate, Michelle Faust. And then you have the Reverend Charles Glover, all right? So let me just get some facts. And I'm going to just read off my sheet on it for anybody who's wondering about qualifications. And I'm just going to stick with the facts that are from the websites that's been made available for each one of them. And I'm going to start with the incumbent, Darlene Dunmire, because in my book, Darlene Dunmire is the only one of these three who is in any way qualified to be reseated on the Charleston County School District Board of Trustees. Let me tell you about Darlene Dunmire if you don't know about her. She's running for a second term to represent District 8 constituents and families across Charleston County on the Consolidated School Board. That's the big board, okay? CCSD District 8, it covers Hollywood, Ravenel, Edisto Island, Wadmalaw Island, parts of Johns Island, and some of West Ashley, okay? Covers all of that area. Now, Mrs. Dunmire was first elected in November of 2022. She's been in her seat 2 years, okay? And now she's running for re-election as the CCSD Board of Trustees member for District 8. She's an experienced educator for over 38 years. She's been in education for over 38 years. She served as a teacher, a school counselor, director of school counseling programs, and the CEO of an educational consulting firm. Okay. Now, so during her brief 2 years as a Charleston County School District trustee, Mrs. Dunmire was instrumental in voting in favor of teachers' pay increases, in support of the EL curriculum, a curriculum that actually has been proven that it was helping poor black and brown children to actually learn, whereas South Carolina has been one of the worst states in the nation for education for well over 10 years. We finally, because of this curriculum, saw some movement forward with our kids. Our kids, man, it was amazing because we heard from parents saying, man, our children that didn't really want to go to school, now they're going to school. They want to go to school. They're enthusiastic. They're excited about going to school. But guess who didn't want that, though? There's Moms for Liberty people. They're we got to get rid of that. And they're still trying to do that. They're still trying to get rid of that curriculum, okay? That's helping poor black and brown kids. Why? Because they're trying to keep us slave-bound in the fields, dumb. You know, they passed laws in the past, okay? If they want to make America great again, they passed laws in the past where we could not learn how to read. It was against the law for us to learn how to read, to have books or reading materials or whatever. And here we are now, the Moms for Liberty people trying to take us back. But let me get back to Darlene Dunmire Robeson, okay? As one of what we call the Phenomenal Four, okay, over the last 2 years, these were our 4 candidates who waged war against the majority 5 Moms for Liberty candidates, board members on the Charleston County School District Board of Trustees. They stood proudly, strongly, intelligently, and they did not bend, they did not back off, they did not kowtow. They ain't take no mess, but they presented the facts in support of our community and for the support of public education and against any kind of wrongs that the Moms for Liberty folks tried to bring forth. So as one of the Phenomenal Four, Mrs. Dunmire Robeson she has firmly stood her ground and represented the goodwill of our community and our children against the biased Moms for Liberty CCSD board majority. Darlene is a proud product of Charleston County School District 23. She went on to earn her bachelor's degree in experimental psychology from the University of South Carolina, USC grad, and a master's degree in urban education with a specialization in school counseling from Norfolk State University. Look at this. This is all this educational background. Remember, 38 years in education, okay? Darlene's 38 years of professional experience includes several positions and roles in education and counseling. She has worked for the South Carolina State Department of Social Services, where she was responsible for writing policy and guidelines for Medicaid eligibility and an educational consultant for children in foster care. She's also worked as an education specialist for the Navy College program and an institutional specialist for the Department of Defense teaching 5th grade students. Boy, she got some background. She rolling deep. Darlene has always known public education to be a force for good, not privatization, public education. And in that sector, she has worked as a licensed professional school counselor and a director of a school counseling programs. In those roles, her team collaborated to design systems and structures to increase levels of equity, parental involvement, and school community relationships. In addition to serving on the CCSD Board of Trustees, Darlene is also the CEO of Next Level Educational Services, LLC, where she provides educational counseling services to educational and state agencies. Since permanently returning home in 2019, remember she's a native, born and raised here in Charleston County. Since returning home in 2019, she's worked with North Charleston High School and St. John's High School, providing leadership training to administrators, directors of counseling, and counseling staff members. Through this experience, Darlene saw the endless possibilities for good when compassionate, highly qualified leaders are equipped with proper resources. Darlene is the recipient of numerous educational awards and citations. Among the many are the Minerva Award for Service to Youth in Education and a Certificate of Achievement from the Chairman of the School Board and the Superintendent of Schools, Prince William County Public Schools, signifying her reputation for quality professional work among her peers. And she's a member of the Palmetto State School Counselors Association, a life member of the University of South Carolina Alumni Association, life member, and a silver member of the Baptist Hill High School Alumni Association, and a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. As an educator, a counselor, and a consultant, Darlene has been listening to the people's concerns for the entirety of her professional life. Remember, 38 years of this experience, okay? She understands the issues of the district because she has witnessed them and lived through them. She's a product of District 8. Darlene's bold voice will continue to be heard in support of the students of District 8 and Charleston County School District as she continues to lead in a second term. Now, let there be no doubt about it. It's my belief that Darlene Dunmire Roberson is the best and most qualified candidate for this position. But she has opposition. Another, which is, I spoke with her, her name is Michelle Faust. Michelle Faust, let me just give it to you from her website, okay, without me trying to elaborate on it. You just heard Darlene Dunmire Roberson. You've just heard her qualifications. Here's Michelle Faust, okay, from her website. Michelle Faust has been a dedicated advocate for Johns Island's educational needs since 2013, okay, with a strong background in quality systems and continual improvement from her career in manufacturing. Let me read that again, okay? She's been a dedicated advocate for Johns Island's educational needs since 2013, with a strong background in quality systems and continual improvement from her career in manufacturing, not education. Michelle has brought this expertise to her extensive volunteer work in the local schools. As chair of the District 9 Education Committee, I think she's on the constituent school board or something. She's not on the consolidated, the big board. She's on one of the local boards there. As chair of the District 9 Educational Committee, she led efforts to improve local elementary schools by advocating for early childhood education, Spanish instruction, and exploring innovative school models. That's all well and good, but she got no experience in education versus somebody with 38 years of experience. Michelle Faust is a dedicated community. I'm back reading from her website, okay? Michelle Faust is a dedicated community leader and a passionate advocate for educational excellence in Charleston County. Since moving to Johns Island in 2012 with her family, I'm not sure where she lived at before there, but I don't believe she's a native, okay? Not to say that the come-yes can't do it right, but still in all, though, she's looking for a position that might need some type of experience in working with the community that she wants to represent. And when I say community, I mean the whole community, not the community that just look like her. Come on, somebody. Back to her website. Michelle has committed herself to addressing the educational needs of her community, leveraging her professional experience and volunteer spirit to drive significant improvements in local schools. Part of that is code. It's code switch. leveraging her professional experience. I told you earlier, just a minute ago, what her professional experience is in. Her experience is from her career in manufacturing, quote unquote. She has experience in manufacturing, not in education. All right. Michelle works. She works in the manufacturing sector. This is her professional background. From her website, Michelle works in the manufacturing sector, where she is responsible for developing and maintaining quality systems and driving continual improvement. Her professional expertise in quality management and process involvement has been instrumental in her approach to educational advocacy. I could probably make the connection somewhat. It's a stretch between this manufacturing experience, even at a managerial level, and the educational aspect. It's a stretch, okay? Ensuring that every initiative she supports is grounded in efficiency, effectiveness, and measurable outcomes. Okay, all right. No educational background whatsoever, aside from sitting on the constituent school board. That's it. That's the end of her of her explanation of herself on her own website. Okay, compared to Darlene Dunbar Robertson, this lady is in K4 on the educational spectrum, while Mrs. Dunbar Robertson is clearly on a level that far exceeds this opponent. But that's not the worst of it. That ain't the worst of it. Michelle Faust is also a Moms for Liberty supported candidate. Moms for Liberty, a group that the Southern Poverty Law Center labeled as an extremist group, a far-right extremist group. And if Moms for Liberty is supporting Michelle Faust, you can bet your last dollar that Michelle Faust supports Moms for Liberty's ideals. They don't support people that don't believe in what they believe in. Moms, how do I know that? Well, I got one screenshot here from Tara Wood. Tara Wood, she's the top mom for Liberty. And she says that Michelle Faust is running for school board District 8, Johns Island, with applause at the bottom of it. But that's not all of it. I got this internet problem going on right now, so I had a short video queued up. I'll leave it in the comments, the link in the comments. It's a very short video, but it has Tara Wood at one of their Moms for Liberty meetings, not knowing that she was being recorded, of course, because that's what they do. They be secretive about what they're doing, hiding and carrying on. But she said in there that they support in the first District 1, Charleston County School Board, Moms for Liberty incumbent Ed Kelly. They support him. She said this out of her mouth. In District 6, they're supporting Michelle Lieber, the wife of the 3%er, the January 6th insurrectionists. All of these people supporting Project 2025. Okay. She supports Michelle Lieber. They support Michelle Lieber. Remember, this was at a meeting, and her from the microphone. And she said, and yes, we support Michelle Faust. Michelle Faust is Moms for Liberty. Bottom line. Moms for Liberty is a far-right anti-government organization that was founded in 2021 and claims to fight for parents' rights in public education. That parents' rights thing, there's really, Roy Willie did a video about almost a year ago at a forum that we did, giving the history of this parental rights thing, parents' rights thing, okay, and just how racist that whole thing is. So, okay. The group grew out of opposition to public health regulations during COVID-19, okay? Mask mandates, they had a problem with that. Vaccines, they had a problem with that. So they organized and they blew up during COVID, okay? Because they had people that the government can't tell me what to do, okay? But they also opposed anything LGBTQ plus IA plus. They also oppose racially inclusive school curriculums, okay? That's when they come up with this anti-CRT. And they push this thing so hard, even though there is no CRT taught in the high school or the elementary levels, this is a collegiate educational study, they push this thing out as if it's taught in schools every day. Why? Because they're worried that little Jane and little Joe, they're going to be offended because they see grandma and grandpa out there in the lines, you know, with holding the dogs and putting the dogs on black folks or something like that. I don't know. But they're against that. And they also advocate book bans, okay? Even though that term advocate is for book bans. That's like the sweet tea version of what they do. These people are bullies. They bully their way through. They think they're some kind of gangsters or whatever, when they really a bunch of soccer moms and the do boys that go along with them. That's all. Forgive me what I say, okay? Charge it to my heart, charge it to my head, not my heart. Was that a Freudian slip? I don't know. Teddy, what's going on? Sean, what's going on? Kathy, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Moms for Liberty and its nationwide chapters combat what they consider the woke indoctrination of children by advocating for book bans in school libraries and endorsing candidates for public office that align with the group's views. Michelle Faust, Michelle Lieber, Ed Kelly, Carlotta Bailey, Keith Grabowski, Pam, whatever her name is, McKinney, Leah Watley. They align with Moms for Liberty views, and that's why Moms for Liberty supports them. And plus, they have these backdoor conversations, which is actually against the bylaws of the board, and they make decisions and things, and they move forward according to these guidelines set up by these Moms for Liberty people. That's why we have to flip this board. That's why we can't be playing any games with this election. And we got this guy, Charles Glover, who wants to jump into a race and split votes with the one candidate who is really, truly competent enough to actually fill the position. That person just happens not to be a Moms for Liberty person. I'm going to talk about Glover in a minute. Moms for Liberty, they also use their multiple social media platforms to target or dox or to go in on teachers and school officials, to advocate for the abolition of the Department of Education. Remember, that's a part of Project 2025. The abolition of the Department of Education, that's part of their advocacy, to advance a conspiracy propaganda and to spread hateful imagery and rhetoric against the LGBTQ community. And again, if Moms for Liberty is supporting Michelle Faust, you can believe Michelle Faust supports Moms for Liberty, okay? Again, I don't have the video because of my internet connection problems, but I will put the link in the comment section of this live broadcast, okay? Let me turn the corner, alrighty? I want to talk about this guy right here. This guy right here. His name is Charles Glover, alrighty? The Reverend Charles Glover. Now, once again, Glover is somebody, he's been my friend for years and carrying on, you know? But I can't do anything but speak truth to power. That's all. If I'm lying, let me know. I'll make a public apology and change my way of thinking, okay? But he says on this post, this post was June 9th, okay? June 9th. This isn't even a school board post, all right? And I'm going to show you in a minute. It's from June 9th. He didn't even file to run for the school board race until September, right before the day of the closing, the day of the deadline. That's when he filed to run in this race in District 8, okay? But he's the chair of the District 23 Constituent School Board, okay? Just as Faust is the chair of one of those constituent boards, okay? And according to him, he's worked professionally for Charleston County government, according to him, all right? Now, I don't know because, you know, when I was able to read off a website for Darlene Dunbar Robeson and the Moms for Liberty lady, Love ain't got no website. He got a Facebook page. And on his Facebook page, it don't say a whole lot of much about what he does or whatever, okay? But let me just talk first about Glover's political history, okay? This ain't his first go-round in politics, running for the school board seat. As a matter of fact, he ran for District 116 earlier this year and got in the primary with Charlie Murray, Reverend Charlie Murray. Charlie Murray beat the brakes off him in the primary. Okay? And that's when Glover switched over the day before filing close, or the day of filing closing, and filed to run for the school board seat. But let me just give you the history about Glover. Here's something a lot of people don't know about Glover. All righty, but you can fact check it. It's all right there. Glover ran in the Republican primary in South Carolina for the House of Representatives for that same district, District 116, in 2018, 2016, and 2018. In 2016, he ran in the Republican primary for District 116. And he did it not only in 2016, he did it in 2018. Both times he lost to the Republican Carol O'Neill. I guess after that, after 18 losing, I guess he said, I better switch my thing up or whatever. Because in 2020, that's when he ran as a Democrat against Shardell Murray. Shardell Murray and Millicent Middleton, and somebody else was in that race. I can't remember who. But in 2020, Shardell, of course, won that. In 2020, he lost in the Democratic primary to Shardell Murray. And then in 2024, this year, I just spoke on it, he lost to Shardell Murray's brother, Reverend Charlie Murray. Okay? And then right after that, that's when he went. So he was a Republican in 2 election cycles, running for the District 116 House seat. He was a Republican that lost in the primary to the Republican. Okay. Then he switched. That was 2016 and 2018. Then in 2020 and 24, he's a Democrat running for that same seat, and he lost in the Democratic primary in both of those cases. Okay. And now here he is. I'm running for the school board. Okay. All righty. But, you know, as I just said, he ain't got no website, so I ain't got no information I can follow up on. Under work and education on his Facebook page, it says he went to Baptist Hill High School. Okay. It says that he studied at South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy, class of 1987. This 2024, 87, right. It says that he graduated from Grace Theological Seminary, class of 2013. And he graduated from Payne Theological Seminary, class of 2017. That's all it says. That's all it says right there. That's his whole extent of work and educational experience that can be gleaned from the internet. And you stack that up against what I just said about Darlene Dunmire. And where is it? If Michelle Faust is K4 compared to Darlene Dunmire, Reverend Charles Glover just got out the womb. It is what it is. It is what it is. And this dude had nerve enough 5 days ago to attack Mrs. Dunmire on social media. Come on, somebody, to attack her. But let me just show you how the deception works, okay? And again, you know, I wish I would have been able to put all of these things up, right? But a little over 5 days ago, before I get to the part about the attack on Darlene Dunbar, I just want you to see how the deception works, okay? Now, I'm going to put this up here, okay? These are some pictures that he posted on his page about 5 days ago on his social media. And you can go to his Facebook page and see this. It's open. It says, fighting on your behalf and supporting the little people. It's got a nice picture of him with the little people right here. Got another picture of him. I think that's in the South Carolina State House. Another picture here on a protest line, I believe. And then down here is at the State House again, all righty? But this one, let me see, right here, I can't see the numbers. Oh, I can't really see it right there, and I didn't print it out. But I think it says like November of 2018. This isn't even new. And if you think that's something, let's see, what else we got? Let's see. He's got... Oh, let's see. I got junk everywhere. Oh, yeah. The one with the little peoples, okay, with all the little peoples. He says that he's doing what? Fighting on your behalf and supporting the little people. Well, that picture right there, that picture was taken in December of 2022. It's almost 2 years ago. That's the same picture. 2022. This picture right here. Let me see where we at. This picture right there at the State House, the one I said is at the State House right there. Here that picture is again right there. Okay. That's the same picture. And the date is at the bottom right here. This is November 2021. November 2021. But he's passing this off like it just happened. And it didn't. And it didn't. He's got another picture on his Facebook page that that really, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show you. Okay. This one right here is from October of 2020. Okay. And the caption that was on there said something about him fighting for the schools or something like that, you know. But like I said, October of 2020. You know where this picture was at? This picture was in Atlanta. And we were there with Kevin Hollinshed. He invited us all along to look at some Title I schools that were flourishing in Atlanta. But this dude here is going to pass it off just like he's trying to pass those other things off as him being active in the school and an activist and all that right now, using these old pictures because if you don't know better, you don't know no better. You believe it. You're like, wow, Charles Glover's a great guy. He's definitely, you know, in the community and doing this, that, and the other. But the reality is, the closest one to today is December of last year. Or was it 2 years ago? 22, 2 years ago. Is that the kind of integrity that we want inside of our school system? Having a board seat? No, it's not. No, it's definitely not. Now, as I was getting ready to say, something else that we don't need in there. Last Thursday, he decided to launch an attack on his Facebook page. The post is still there, okay, against Mrs. Dunmire Robertson, okay? Now, two things about this whole thing. Mrs. Robertson and him both black, okay? I know Mrs. Dunmire supports public education over private education, which is a democratic value. Glover claims that, even though he ran a couple of times as a Republican, I don't know, before he even thought about running as a Democrat. So I don't know where he's at on this whole thing. But both of them black, that's one thing. And when he decided he was going to, 5 days ago, he's going to attack Mrs. Dunmire Robertson, the one person that we do have documented evidence of doing the job for our kids within the school system, attack her, he didn't attack the Moms for Liberty lady. He ain't said nothing about her. Nothing. He goes after the sister. And that's why I ain't got no problem doing this live tonight. He goes after the sister. Not to say that, I mean, if the sister was in the wrong, go. Do it. But Darlene Dunmire Robertson has done an outstanding job as a trustee with the Charleston County School District Board. An outstanding job. And here this dude, because he wants to have this seat, he decides to go after the sister without saying a word about the Moms for Liberty book ban and anti-CRT privatization that's going to kill our community and keep the neck of white supremacy on our neck, the knee of white supremacy on our neck. He ain't say a word about her. Nothing. Now, I already talked about his qualifications or the lack thereof, especially compared to Darlene Dunmire Robertson's qualifications. Listen. Let me go back to that post, okay? If you go to his page, you can find it. It's right there. It's right there. I'm not lying about it. I'm you know. And the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is to read the post, okay? If you can decipher what he's saying. Okay. I'm going to read it as I come close to a close. I'm going to read it. But it ain't easy reading. And this is for somebody who wants to sit on the Charleston County School Board of Education. the Charleston County School District Board of Education. I have some more information about some underhanded stuff he's done recently. I'm not even going to bring that in because this is enough information actually for anybody with their logical mind to know two things. One, Charles Glover, the Reverend Charles Glover, is in no way qualified and does not need to get anybody's vote in this election. And the other thing is that Michelle Faust, the Moms for Liberty lady, is in no way qualified and does not need to get anybody's vote. The only people need to vote for her are Moms for Liberty people. And they should have enough sense to know that they're actually putting themselves in jeopardy and their kids in jeopardy by refusing to educate all kids at the same time. Because them kids going to grow up together. Yeah. If anybody want to talk to me about that, hey, holler at your boy. But let me read this thing over, okay? As a matter of fact, I put it in my notes that way I could actually read it, okay? But I go to Charles Glover, Glover, go to his page, and you can read over it yourself, okay? His page open, and I don't think he even knows how to shut it down so you can't see it, okay? All right, it says this right there. It says, I have been serving this school district for 16 years, okay? I guess that's and he said chaired the board for 10. I think that's as in his role and with the constituent school board, District 23, I think it was. Says he's served in that position for 16 years, served the school district for 16 years, and in this position on the board as board chair for the last 10 years. And then he says, now I don't want to sound disparaging or condescending when I said I'm going to read what he wrote, because remember, he wants to be elected to the school district board of trustees. He says, my philosophy is, my Felocity, philosophy is, I think he was trying to say philosophy, but that ain't how it came out. That ain't how it came out. Okay, it says, my philosophy is, you can't win a war if you never fought in a battles for anything. Remember, this is on his page. That was shade right there. I guess he's trying to insinuate that Darlene Dunbar Robeson, because he's going to more or less allude to her in the coming sentence or two. It says, my philosophy is, you can't win a war if you never fought in a battles for anything. Issues in the district, my board fights. School closures, we fight. I can't decipher that too much, okay? Just ask Glover what he's talking about. In the next sentence, he said, I'd like to thank Reverend Mack for allocating the funds for BHMHS, Baptist Hill Middle High School, to have a turf field, and I fought to get a new track field. To clear the air, this is why it got done, because of him. I guess he's saying because of Reverend Mack, they got this field. But the reality is, for those who don't know, and I ain't scared of Mack either. See, Mack is one of the problems that our school system is the way it is. He masqueraded as somebody that was down with public education, but as soon as he got in the seat, he flipped the script. He got tight with Postal Weight and all those others, the ones who were trying to privatize our system. He was part of the Coalition for Kids fiasco that we had to intercept and break down and run out. And for me, I will never support Reverend Mack in anything that he does, and I will continue to campaign against him because I know his heart isn't about the community. It's all about what Reverend Mack can get for himself. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Don't like it, you'll be all right, okay? So for him to brag about Mac, and he knows Mac's history. He knows it, but he's banking, just like with those photographs. He's banking that people will read it or see this and not know the history. Mac is not something that you want to brag about. Mac did more harm to our kids in our school system than anybody. As board chair, he hurt our children. Those who, unfortunately are tied, are forced into a public education system that has failed them. Instead of focusing on how to fix that problem, No, he sold us out, literally, okay? Back to Reverend Glover, okay? He made the statement, St. John money deferred to Lucy Beckham. I guess that's back to the issues that he said he was fighting. St. John money deferred to Lucy Beckham, Becken. All right. Who is fighting for St. John's funding? I think this is where the shade starts rolling over toward our school board member, Darlene Dunbar Robeson, okay? Who is fighting for St. John's funding? No representation, okay? He says, I serve in the Edisto district that covers the whole Sea Island churches in AME conference. I guess why you have to throw the church in there? Like that's going to get him in. Oh, I'm an AME pastor, okay? If anything, his AME people ought to be calling him up and asking him what the hell's wrong with him. That's what should be going on if the AME pastors are really of that book, that little book we call the Bible. You know, they will call him up and say, man, look, you done messed up. You need to stand down and let this sister go on and win this seat before this white supremacist and her people get an additional seat on this board. That's the bottom line right there, okay? Now, then he goes on and says, I'm real about fighting for what's right for our district. Okay. I'm real about fighting for what's right for our district. Now, that's great. That's great. I'm not going to knock that. But this next line, straight shade. He says, anybody that campaigns against their own party for a Republican that cost us 2 seats in county council, the council seat and the chairman. He's insinuating that Darlene Dunbar Robeson campaigned in order to flip a seat for a Republican. Okay? Now, listen. The bottom line is whether she did or she didn't, I don't know. I don't think she did. But I know one thing. On John's Island, one of the greatest names on that island supported that same Republican. And his name was Abe Jenkins. Abe Jenkins was a solid Democrat. Solid. But when it came to the choice between the Republican and the Democrat that year, Joe Boykin and I think it was Anna Johnson, Abe Jenkins stood with Joe Boykin because he believed that Joe Boykin was the right one. And he's not the only one. So for this dude to make this an issue, okay, to throw shade, you don't win elections by throwing shade. That's that Donald Trump foolishness, okay? I almost cussed. I had to catch myself there. That's that Donald Trump foolishness. I'm going to talk bad about a person so people don't go vote for him. Instead of winning on your merits. He can't do that because he ain't got no merits. All of the stuff that I just showed you, it's all bogus. Smoke and mirrors for those who don't know. And that's why I'm doing this live, so that you will know. So that you will know. Tracy, how you doing? All righty. Shannon, I hope I say your name right. It's the second time I've done that, I think. Okay. But then it's not over. He closes that little line that's there. He says, I'm the Democrat running against 2 Republican candidates. Republicans candidate. He calls himself the Democrat running against 2 Republican candidates. And then he says, vote Charles Glover, Democrat. Somebody needs to let Glover know that school board races, they're nonpartisan races. No matter what you say you are, you can say you're a Democrat. I guess he was a Republican 5 years ago, right? 6 years ago. 8 years ago, he was a Republican. Now he's a Democrat. Now he wants to make it known that he's a Democrat in a race that's a nonpartisan race that has nothing to do, supposedly, with Republicans or Democrats, supposedly. But now he's trying to sway a vote by putting at the bottom, I'm the Democrat. But he's not trying to sway votes. What he's trying to do is split votes. That's all. Go to his page. It's right there. The whole thing is right. Just what I read is right there. Go to his page. You read it for yourself. Maybe you can make better sense of it and make him look better or something. I don't know. But It's really sad. It's really sad. And he's not the only one, okay? Maybe in this election cycle he is, but I have consistently over the years found that people who are power hungry, people who are blinded in their ambitions, or even those who took a couple of dollars in order to throw the votes off or split the votes or whatever. I'm not going to say that's beyond them. I don't know, because I've seen it in the past. These are the same people that are subverting our chances of being successful as a people. They are breaking down our opportunities as a people collectively of being the great ones that we could be. Why? Because they sell us out, they sell us short, they sell us off by the side of the wayside, they sell us into slavery. They do everything that they can in order to enrich themselves, be through power, finance, or whatever. And they don't care anything about the community that they're hurting. And right now, even though Glover has been a friend of mine, I don't have no problem saying it. Right now, that's what Glover is doing. He's hurting us as a community. Folks, don't let him do it. Don't let him do it. Put the word out. We need everybody to get to the polls to make sure that Darlene Dunmire wins by an overwhelming landslide over the Moms for Liberty mouthpiece. Okay, for want of a better word. She can't, don't let her win. We're already having a trouble. We have to make sure that Ed Kelly in the second school board district, that he doesn't win. We need to take over this board and get that 5-4 majority that the Moms for Liberty people have, get them off so we can get stuff done for our kids. And we can do it if Darlene Dunmire keeps her seat, if Darren Lee Calhoun II defeats the white supremacist Michelle Lieber, and if in the second, Carolina Jewett defeats Ed Kelly, we can flip this board back to where it's supposed to be. All of that craziness and confusion. You see what they did to Dr. Gallion. You see what they did to me. Even though I ain't got no lawyer to represent me, I put that out every time. Okay? But it needs to stop. And we have the ability through the election process to stop this madness. Let's do it, folks. Don't be fooled by that rev in front of Charles Glover. Don't be fooled by the doctored images that he puts out. Ain't none of them from yesterday or today. Darlene Dunmire Robeson, her history is yesterday. The day before, the work that she's doing, let her work speak for her. Especially since she's been the elected person in that seat since November of 2022. It's been a force to be reckoned with. And I'll be darned if I'm going to let some power-hungry, possibly paid under the table individual prevent her from retaining and holding on to that seat, and let that Moms for Liberty, because the votes are split, and let that Moms for Liberty lady get into that seat. It ain't gonna happen if I can prevent it. And I'm asking you all to join with me to help to prevent the downfall of our people through allowing the wrong people to get elected into office. That line will go far. It'll go far. But it's all on us. I'm asking you to share this out. Let other people know that this is what's going on. I'm the pastor. Charles know how to reach me. He got my cell number. You know. But I know one thing. He had ample time to drop out. He ain't going to drop out. For whatever reason. He's going to stay in. And all he's going to do is draw votes away from Darlene Dunmire Robeson. Not from the Moms for Liberty label. And again, why you have to attack the sister and let the racists alone? That's civil rights leader, right? All power to the people. But I ain't messing with that white lady. I'm going to let it go right there. Y'all, listen, y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for everybody that stayed on. I really appreciate you. You all please share this video out. I got to go and get ready for the vice president's debate. I'm praying that it's going to be everything that I hope it is, to Tim Walz's advantage, okay? But we will see. We will see. Anyway, it goes, a couple of things. It's not going to sway from who I'm supporting. Harris Walls 2024. And not only for 4 years, but for 8 years, okay? He'll win 2024 win, 2028 win, and then and 4 years later, then we'll figure out if Tim Walz going to run for president or not, okay? But that's a given. I don't care what happens in this debate tonight, but I'm really hoping other parties, I'm hoping deep down in my heart that educator, that 20-some-odd year, 30-year educator, football coach, comes to the dance tonight and shows up on that young whippersnapper and give him a behind cutting. All right? Yeah, that's the pastor. I said it. Y'all take care. Tune in CBS tonight starting at 9 from 9 until 10:30. I think on the Low Country for Harris Walls Facebook page. All of the details are there about how the whole thing is set up and everything. Go there. If you ain't been there, go there and like the page. Answer the questions that are there, okay? That's the only way that we really know if we're really dealing with real people, okay, other than these fakes out here, because some of them have snuck through and I had to cut them out. But listen, please, pay attention to what's going on. These nickel slick people out here, be careful. Be careful. And I guarantee you, every time that I find out, though, that somebody playing games with my people, with my community, y'all know me well enough to know, I'm going to shout them out. I'm going to make them famous, okay? And today, Charles Glover, this is your life. Y'all take care. I love you all. Have a wonderful evening. And listen, don't forget to kiss your babies tonight. Hug them. Tell them that you love them. Your spouses, your aunties, your uncles, grandma, grandpa, if you still got them with you, man, call them up tonight. Tell them you love them, okay? And let's get up tomorrow and start telling other people that we love them. Maybe we can shift this energy, this negative energy that's around us so heavy in the air, and just move it forward to the place where we need to be, where we can all live life and live it to the fullest. Y'all take care. This is Pastor. I'm out. Peace.